Okay, do you know the topic of tonight?
Don't forget you're dealing with a child.
Yes. So first of all, let's summarize what we learned in the last 2 days, the ideal punishment. Who can repeat, please, so I know that the message got across? Nobody wants to talk? So I will start all over again.
No, Rav, can you repeat the question, please? I'm sorry.
Do you remember what we learned about the ideal punishment?
I'm getting my notes, Rav.
Oh, you're getting your notes. So every time you have to deal with your child,
No.
you're gonna go to your notes.
No. I think the ideal punishment is when the child makes a decision from the options you're giving him. He's punishing himself. He's choosing the consequence.
Yes.
That's it. I didn't get my notes yet, Rav. That was on the top of my head.
Okay, good. So let me summarize it, and we're going to move to the next topic. The punishment, the best one is that the child can accept it in his own sense. That it's a natural outcome of his deeds. That's the best. That's the ideal punishment. Because the child is learning on his flesh and meat the messages that we're trying to send him. And he will stay with him for later on in life. Number two, not only the fact that the responsibility for his deeds, we're gonna throw it at his coat. We're gonna be gainers. How? We're not gonna scream and we're not gonna yell, and we're gonna stay cool. Because this kind of punishment is intelligent one. It's not emotional ones. It's with the brain, not with the heart. So we're not losing control. We're not acting like we soon have to go to LIJ. We have already set of rules. We're trusting you that you can perform, but if not, so that's going to be the consequence. And we warned you and we told you and you accepted it. Now you have to carry the consequence. Number three, when the child chooses the punishment that he deserves, he's choosing the punishment. It's in making him to be responsible for his deeds. And that's why I told you yesterday that this how Hashem is going to deal with us. That's what Hashem is going to do with us. We're going to determine what punishment we deserve. Hopefully, no one will deserve one, Bezrat Hashem. But if yes, we will call the shots. Now Hashem. Did you get it? Did
Yes,
you get it?
Yes,
Rabbi.
Rabbi.
Everybody?
Yes.
Where is the choir?
Yes, Rabbi.
I need to hear a choir. Yes, we got it.
Yes, we
Yes,
got it.
Rabbi. We
Yes,
all
we
got
got
it.
it.
We got it.
Oh,
Yes, we
Mazato,
got it.
Shemato. Finally, I hear some voices in
Yes,
the desert. Okay, good.
We're here. We're listening, Rob.
Okay. Now, this is the last segment of punishment. That was the less pleasant to talk about. I don't like to talk about it because I don't think that we have to come to a point that we have to punish a child. But okay, this is my maybe I have extra patience or but it's needed from time to time. But I want to emphasize again and again, please pay attention. You always have to remember, always, when a child is not behaving properly, he's not doing things on purpose. He wants you to punish him. Like he's coming to invite punishment. You cannot look at the child like you talking to a grown-up. He's a child. Don't forget. Sometimes we're expecting from a child what we don't expect even from a grown-up. And we're assuming that the grown-up is responsible for his deeds and he is able to, if he's making a boo-boo, we're going to call him to court and he's going to be able to answer to the judge what he did. But not kids, Rabotai, kids. After all, we're talking about kids that they don't have intention to do evil. They don't have this intention. The bottom line is they're not able to control, to overcome the Yetzer Hara. That's what it is. This is their nature. I assume that you all grown up and you have kids. Yes?
Yes.
I assume so.
Yeah.
Now, how many times you have to fight against your Yetzer Hara?
Every day.
Plenty.
How many times we're failing? Hello?
Every day.
Anybody home?
Don't always overcome.
Maybe I'll bring my microphone, like in the camp. And so maybe, how many times we failing, the Yetzer Hara gets us? How many times?
Every day.
How many times a day?
Many times.
Good.
Many times.
I don't know why everybody is so quiet, right?
It's a touchy subject.
It's a touchy subject. But we have Yetzer Hara. The girls after 12 years old and the boys after 13 years old, already they have Yetzer Tov. And if we having Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara and we failing, what do you want from a child before Bar Mitzvah? That is one piece of Yetzer Hara. Not Yetzer Tov at all, he doesn't have good. What do you expect from him? What do you expect from her? What?
We expect too much sometimes, Rav.
Way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much. Not too much. Way
Is
too
it-
much.
Is it because their seichel isn't developed?
The sechel is there. The ability to overcome the Yetzer Hara is not there.
Mhm.
So this is their nature. That's why until Bar Mitzvah, I'm sorry to say it, they acting like animals. Be'emet, if you see a child sitting on the table and is eating like a person, and it's something unheard of. Because the program until they're like the Bronx Zoo. So it's very much necessary in any way possible to put an effort to explain the child, to explain pleasantly. You have to understand the Torah, Drachea Darche Noam. Everything has to be done pleasantly. So a person feels, you know, and to turning the child into a good way with what tools to convince him with love. When you tried everything and nothing is working, then we can go to punishment. But between you and me, how much patience we have to explain the child?
Very little to none.
Be'emet, if one is going to be a court day, I'm going to come to be the lawyer of the kids. I'll take the stand, I'll map the floor with everybody. Why? We don't give them the proper things that they need. We don't understand them, B'chla. Yes, they are annoying. Every Yetzer Hara is annoying you. Aren't they annoying you and they enjoying it?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. They get a kick out of it.
So aren't we annoying Hashem and we enjoying it?
You mean the Avera we're doing at the time?
Again, our kids can drive us to the walls and they're getting a kick out of it. They're
Yeah.
enjoying it. Are we driving Hashem to the walls
Yeah.
and we're having fun with this?
If I do something that's not what Hashem wants, I try to do better, but I don't do it with the thought in my head that I want to drive him nuts.
And you think that the kids wants to drive you nuts? No. That's who he is. Hashem said, don't do it. We're doing it. We smile on our face. We say, you see, everything was fine. We enjoyed it. So imagine a child coming, making a mess in your kitchen after you cleaned it, and then right? You made a mess. You went to Acapulco on the beach. Everybody is, I used to say half naked, not anymore. I should say 90% already naked. And you, right? So what are we different than the child? What? No, what are we different?
We're more at fault.
We are more at fault, yes.
Yes.
So what do we want from the kids? If you see that your child is starting to act, meaning now we have to take a deep breath, shut the world off, and you sit down and you explain and you get to the bottom of it, what's bothering you, why you doing that, maybe I can help you. You know, come, I'll take you to pizza, take you this, or do something in order to calm the Yetzer Hara down. Hug the child, you know, and he sees mommy left everything and she just concentrating on me. That's what he wants. Now, since we're dealing with kids again and again, we have to remind ourselves again and again, put a sign on your fridge, I'm dealing with children over here. And write it down, please. Children are not angels. Hello? Anybody home?
Yes, Rav.
We're here. We're here.
Good.
Rabbi.
Children are not angels. By the way, you're not angel also. Okay, but this beside the point. Kids are not angels. Sometimes I hear parents, they saying things and say, are you on drugs or where are you? Why my kids cannot sit on the table and soon enough you're gonna put him a bow tie, okay, and let him sit like this. He is a child. Yes, mommy. Yes, daddy. If you think that's what's gonna happen, it's not gonna happen. Meaning you have to be creative how to make him sit on the table like the trainer that's trying to train a tiger how to jump into a fire. That's exactly what we are. And you will get upset why the tiger cannot sit like he's a tiger. I hear parents want them to be like a doll that you see in the front of the store. You see, Kara?
Mannequins.
Did you see it once? That's what you want? Take your child. Maybe he can make some money in the storefront. It's not.
But Rav, can I interrupt?
Yes, you
Honestly,
can.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to comment here,
I'm sorry also. It's okay, fine.
but I, for some reason, feel like when we were growing up, maybe we had a lot of like demands, and our parents really were like Gestapo with us, and the kids nowadays are like way past that. Like, I don't see these kids even remotely being mannequins, honestly. I mean, if most households have like semi-functioning homes, I think we thank Hashem. I don't know. I don't know if everyone's looking for like perfect children nowadays. I don't know. Like, I feel like our parents put so much demands on us and so much strictness, and we don't even do a shred of that. And yet still there's so much that like our children are doing that like we didn't even dream of doing. We didn't even like, our mouth wouldn't move to say certain things that these kids are saying. I don't know if the standard nowadays is like perfection, but rather like at least just some basic compliance.
You know, there is a very nice song. It's called Yesterday. Did you hear once the song? Huh?
Is it by Simon and Garfunkel, Rabbi?
Is it the Beatles?
It's the Beatles.
No, it's the Beatles. Yesterday.
Oh,
The
okay.
Beatles.
The
Yesterday.
All my troubles seem so far away.
So far away, right? So
Mhm.
all the chinuch that used to be, it seems so far away. I'm going to read you soon a book from 200 years ago that is saying that his generation already chutzpah.
Right, that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about.
200 years ago, he said chutzpah when we even didn't blink one eye next to our parents. They still call it chutzpah. So you have to understand. Do you see the atmosphere in the air in the world today? It's
Yes.
a total anarchy. Everybody's doing whatever he wants.
When I was growing up in the 50s and 60s, we wouldn't think of having a newspaper, a magazine, a television at the dinner table. It just wouldn't happen. And we never questioned.
Those days, Rabotai, please, those days are over. These days they didn't see a phone, they didn't see iPhone, they didn't see computer, they didn't see anything. There is nothing to compare. This has to stop. The comparison has to stop. Trust me. I have also the complex, that the way that I was raised and what I see now, I have to turn myself 55 times on the air, to understand what's going on. And how to give the proper guidance to the parents that they're dealing. It's not simple today. So, first of all, you have to know that we're dealing with kids, that the mind is very open. They see everything. The atmosphere on the air is a terrible one. Totally impure. Totally not sanua, not at all. There is a book, I'll show you.
This is solar panel. So it doesn't take batteries.
Can you
Mute
please
yourself,
mute?
please.
I did. There is a book that he writes that today the Orthodox people, Orthodox in our time, they get dressed like they were prostitute in his time. When he was young, could you imagine what he is saying? It's only 40, 50 years ago. That's what he writes. By the way that we dress now, he said this was the street girls. So we're going downwards and downwards, and you can see it. So our kids are in the midst of all this. And they also Yetzer Hara. We have to be in our best to understand them. We at least have some tools to fight. They don't have any tools to fight. So we have to help them, not to go against them and punishing them because they have Yetzer Hara. That's what Hashem did to them. Why we have to jump on them? I'll tell you this much, and don't think I lost it. If you see a child that he is so good, always saying, always responsible for what he is doing, and he's mamash, as we say, goody goody, I will take him to psychiatrist.
That's hilarious.
Did you hear me? If the child is so good that he's under 13, if this is how the way he acts, something is wrong, I will take it to evaluation. We will like it and say, oh, such a boy, such a good one, such a quiet one. Everything is responsible, everything, something is wrong. A child is a child.
Rav,
Yes.
I was taken for evaluation even when I was not acting normal. When I was like 5, 6 years old, they told my mother that I needed to see a psychiatrist because I didn't behave properly in school. So when my mother took me one, the psychiatrist told to my mother, whoever brought you here, bring them to me.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So now here we go. Some parents, they're acting like FBI. Every move of the child, listen to me. Sometimes you didn't see and you didn't hear. Let it go. Of course, it has to be normal, not to overdo it, but not for every small thing you have to jump. Sometimes you didn't see, let it go. Sometimes the child have excuses why he did it. And we know that the excuses is not emet. And what if we catch him that is not emet? What we doing? Right away, we're becoming the policeman or the FBI.
BBI.
And we start to investigate the child.
BBI.
May I add something? I'm sorry.
Once again, sometimes even if you know that the child is not saying the truth, and all these excuses are coming from the finger, accept it. Why? Let them go out of this mess bekavod. Depends what he did also. But this is your judgment. But to jump on the child for every small thing,
Yeah, but Rav, aren't we supporting their lying?
no.
It's not going to learn for bad to do next time the same thing. So you're going to be close to your eye.
No, because next time if you try to do it with something that is more severe, then we tell them, you're not saying the truth. This is your judgment, this is your call, the parents' call. When yes and when no. Now, if you know that your friend trying to, to lie to you just to get away from this with some respect, are you going to tell him you lied to me?
No.
Or you're going to say, okay, fine. Yeah, good. Let me surprise you. If somebody trying to lie to you, mean he have some respect toward you. Why? He doesn't want to disappoint you. He is appreciating you. And he's looking for ways to look good in front of your eyes. If he doesn't care for you, he'll tell you the way it is. But since he is trying to make the case beautiful, it means what? Because he considers you as a person, he doesn't want to look bad next to you. So don't,
very hard to accept this concept.
I know.
I mean, usually when you respect someone, you should be honest.
You see? Here we go. You know what happened, and now we come with excuses which you know that are not the truth. You have two choices. Either to tell him, hey, I was not born yesterday. This is not the truth. So now you cut them off. And he will, you know what he will do? He says, I don't want to be his friend anymore.
Yeah,
that's what happened when we jump on our kids all the time. This is not a met. This is blah, 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 blah. They stop talking to us. If they're trying to look good in front of our eyes, meaning they are ashamed of us. They're appreciating us. That's why he wants to paint himself in a nice color.
Rav,
Yeah.
what if the child lies to you first and you say, okay, I believe you. And then he comes to you and he says, I didn't tell you the truth. So doesn't that mean that he respects you enough to come back to you to tell you the truth?
You misunderstand me.
Okay. If I could please
Sometimes
clarify.
something small happened.
I did misunderstand you, I think.
Something small happened, and the child tried to get out of it in a respectful way. So he started to say things which are not emet.
Let's say Rafi said I did my homework. Can we use that as an example?
Homework, no, because it's important.
So then I'm just trying to figure out what kind of lie Rav is referring to.
It's your judgment. What do you call something that's not acceptable and what is acceptable?
Okay.
You'll call the shots, and according to this, you'll decide either to accept what they're saying and let them off the tree, or to confront him. But you have to know, if every small thing you're going to confront your child, the child is not going to be your friend anymore. It's not. So, meaning, why the child wants to tell you things that did not happen?
To impress you?
Because he don't respect you, or because he have respect to you, he doesn't want you to feel bad, don't want to disappoint you.
Yes, because he doesn't want to disappoint you.
So why to take it away from him?
But can it be that he's just afraid to get into trouble? And it has nothing to do with like disappointing you?
Depends who is the parents. Now, for every small thing that they want to punish him, so now he'll do it because he is afraid.
No, but Rob was saying how there are consequences for our actions. So if the child knows there's going to be a consequence, for instance, then he's, and he might want to lie his way out of it to not get the consequence. It's a hard one. Like, how are you?
It will not count to it.
Why?
I'll tell you why. He wants to play with the toys, yes?
Okay.
No. How can he lie now?
Yeah, but he didn't do anything wrong if he wants to play with the toys.
But you're telling him, I'm letting you, if you feel that you can play with the toys and put it back in place, okay, fine, you can play. But if it's not going back into place, so you have 2 or 3 outcomes to choose from.
Right.
Where's the line now?
So let's say in this case, this boy, whatever, made the mess and who played with the toys, didn't put them away, but then tells you, oh, I didn't do that. I didn't play with it, for instance. What's that? Is that a lie where we're letting it slide? I think I'm with Sharon on this. Like, I'm not understanding where we're letting it slide.
Of course, he will come and tell you, it's not me, it's my sister. I'm not accepting any. I told you, you have to be responsible to put everything back in place.
Right. So here it doesn't slide.
No.
I think that's also where I'm lost a little. Like, where would it slide? What lie is not so massive enough to let it be okay and not police them?
Where they want to impress you, I think. What kind of lie would that be? Can Rob give an example? Because it's a little hard.
Example. Did you spill the orange juice on the floor? Because you are the only one home. I said, no, it's not me. And you know it cannot be you because you don't drink orange juice. Your husband is at work. And the other kids are in school. So who can it be? Eliyahu Hanavi. Who can it be? And now you can say, well, okay, maybe it was left from last night. I didn't see it. Or you're going to say, do you think I'm a fool? You're the only one over here. Why are you trying to lie now? Whoa, 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 whoa. What you prefer now?
Instead of asking the child who did it, shouldn't we just ask him, if we see something spilled, we should clean it up? This way we're not accusing, we're just giving them the instruction.
You can come to the kitchen and says, I see orange juice on the floor. Did you see who spilled it? And he's the only one at home now. Did you see? He said, no, I didn't see. I was in my room playing. No, okay. If you didn't see, I didn't see also. You let the child off the hook. So now, if he is afraid for punishment that every time you're going to start to make a scene, how many times I told you not to drink orange juice by yourself? Why didn't you call me? You're not like that. Meaning he doesn't want to disappoint you.
Rabbi, I have a question. When Kyle, he killed his brother, and Hashem asked him, where is your brother? He said, I'm not my brother's keeper, right? I don't babysit. Was it for the same reasons that the children lied to us, that he lied to God?
No. This was already a chutzpah. That was not the answer. The answer was, you are the Almighty. You controlling everything. How come you didn't stop me? Meaning it's your fault, it's not my fault. I did my job. Where were you, the Almighty, not doing a job to protect your children? Why did you let me kill him? That's already a big chutzpah, right?
That was a different intention.
Completely different.
Got it. Thank you, Rabbi.
Sometimes let the child, if he coming from school and this and that, okay, this we have to start to ask him what's going on. But if one time you spilled orange juice on the floor, you have to learn what. Did you hear once the expression, you have to choose your battles?
Yes. Yes.
With the kids, it's the same thing. Choose your battles. When you want to confront them, when no, it all depends how how calm you are and how you're thinking well what to let go and what not to let go. Of course, you don't let the child repeating this time after time, then you'll see my parents are, I can spin them on my fingers. This you don't let happen. So again, the parents, they have to be the judges. So you have to decide, do you want to push the child to the corner or to let him off out of the corner? Yeah. Somebody once told me that he came from home that none of the brothers were smoking. He was the only one that smoked, but his father didn't know about it. And he was hiding it from his father. One day he hears the father saying to the brothers and to the mother, to everybody, I'm so proud of you, my kids, that none of you smoking. I'm so proud of you. So when he heard this, he was making even extra effort so his father should not know that he is smoking, right? After years, he found out that his father knew that he was smoking. When he said to everybody, I'm so proud that none of you smoking, he knew already that this child is smoking already. What did he say? What did he say?
He gave the son a chance, to be honest, but he
I'm
didn't take him up
proud
on
of
it.
all of you that you're not
Right.
smoking.
Yeah, he actually uplifted him.
So he was even hiding more not to let Abba feel, to let him down.
Reverse psychology.
Yes. Why? Because he understands that something is wrong with this. You see, my Rabbi once told me, your kids always will do avonot behind your back. Nobody is an angel. You just have to make sure that the guilt feeling will stay there. So they're not going to enjoy it so much. So smart. Huh? Extremely smart. So every cigarette that he took, he says, just my father should not know from this. Every cigarette that he took, his father was in front of his eyes. I'm letting him down. Hopefully he will not catch me. And the more he said it, the more he knew that he's doing something wrong. At least he knows he's wrong. What's the problem now? People doing something wrong and they said, what's wrong with that? That's the problem. If you're doing something wrong and you're hiding, you know it's wrong. And the more you do it, you know it's wrong, and your conscience keep hurting you. What are you doing? What are you doing?
But Rabbi, isn't the guilt feeling make the person depressed these days?
No. No.
This is not the cause of depression, the guilt feeling? No.
No. Now, if the father will confront him, tell him, I know that you're smoking. What do you think would have happened?
He would have done it openly in front of him.
He'll come in front of his father with a cigarette, making circles with the smoke. Bedavka. Yes, I am.
But I think also when people are exposed, they get angry at the person that exposed them.
Yes.
It works the opposite way. They say it's your fault.
You make yourself, I didn't see, I didn't hear, and he knows that the son is smoking, he knows. And he make himself, he said, I'm so proud of all my boys, all of them, none of them is a smoker. While knowing that this child smoking, that calls, at the end he will pay. He will pay for you. Okay, we have some time, so let me read you a piece from Rabbi Eliezer Papo. He has a book called Pele Yoetz, a very famous book. He used to live in Bosnia. Bosnia, I think, is Spain. Bosnia.
I think it's Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yugoslavia, which was once, many Jews were there. Listen to what he writes. Every person have to have a good approach. With whom? You have to know how to behave with your small children and with your grown-up children, with the teenagers and already bachurim. לפי צורך שעה, according to what you see now, ולפי מה שהם, and according to who they are. Not every child is the same child. So every child needs a different approach accordingly. לפי דעתם, how much capacity they have over here to understand you. ולפי מידתם, how old are they? בסבלנות גדולה. What does it mean, סבלנות גדולה? Let's see if you know Hebrew after 1.5 years.
A lot of patience.
Lot of patience. סבלנות גדולה.
Big patience.
When was it? 200 years ago. סבלנות, he says. וגדר לדבר, if you want to get להיות שומע לעצה, he said, go seek advices from people that professional. You see what it is? Even 200 years ago, he said, go ask people who are dealing with chinuch what to do with my kids. כי מרבה עצה, the more advices you get, the more you learn. מרבה חוכמה, you acknowledge even more. You're becoming wiser by the day. ותשועה ברוב יועץ. The salvation will come when you have many advices, good ones from people who are professionals. Then you know what to do. That's number one. It says, first you have to learn. בגדר שני, it says, second law, להיות מתון. What is מתון? You don't know what it is, right?
Is it to give?
Matun means?
Is it a giver, Rabbi?
No, זה לתת. Matun means במתינות. Let me think first.
Contemplate.
Pause. Amtana, you have to pause. You're waiting for your flight. Yes? You're waiting for the flight? Yes? Where are you? I'm in the airport. What you doing? אני ממתין לטיסה. I'm waiting for my flight. I'm at pause now, pausing now. Nothing is moving. Meaning before you deal with a child, put the brake. Okay, what we're gonna do over here? Usually how we react, huh?
Instantly, without thinking. Unfortunately.
The child coming back from school with a note. Your child is not behaving. Usually if you're tired and you're exhausted and you're upset, again, and you're gonna scream at him, wait, Abba will come. Now take a deep breath. What I'm gonna do over here, something that is gonna be good for me and good for the child. When you learn, you know what to do now. More or less, you have some clue how to deal with the child now.
Rabbi, in order not to attack the child, I used to call and attack the teacher.
What?
Not to attack my child, I used to call and attack the teacher. I had to take it out on someone. I felt bad for my child. I would call and attack the teacher.
No, it's not the teacher's fault. Imagine somebody will do it to you, huh? Not כדאי. Now, look what he writes. חושב מחשבות. Now you're thinking. What? To see what's going to come out of it. לראות את הנולד. איזה הוא חכם? Who is a wise man? Who sees
the future.
The future. If I'll take action now, what's going to be with the child tomorrow? Is it going to be good for the chinuch or not? הוא פונה לכל הצדדים. He says, you think, you do this, you do that, and he says, and the main one, שיהיה נמלך בקונו. He said, first thing you do, you start to pray to Hashem. Before you take any action with the child, Tehillim book, Tehillim. He said, what shall I do with my child? Tell me, open up my eyes. And the child sees it, the child sees. Iman not jumping in him, Iman not saying anything. She's just asking Hashem, please give me the right wisdom to deal with the child now, the way that is going to be benefit for him and for us. This is how we acting.
No.
I hear only one no. The rest, I hope they're not asleep yet.
No, just embarrassed.
There's nothing to be embarrassed about. We're learning. Learning is not a place to be embarrassed. Okay, we made boo-boos, and now we're going to correct it. Why to be embarrassed?
People are not here need to be embarrassed.
Exactly, very good point. Very good point. So he says, listen, what he write 200 years ago, as חכם כזה, אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור. This, no person can measure this. Every child is different. Not every time is the same time. Sometimes it's Erev Shabbat. It's not like any other day. It's not like a Sunday, right? After.
Right.
Erev Shabbat, nobody can talk to you because whoever going to be next to you, his life is in danger. His life is in danger. When Shabbat is over, okay, now we can talk to you. No? The children are the same thing. And therefore, צריך שיהיה חכם, you have to be wise. ומבין, and to understand. מדעתו. Work with this. Don't work with the heart. פה. This should work. ואם אינו סומך על ידיעתו, if he is not trusting his knowledge, he says, I don't know enough. He says, I give you advice. And listen to this, Rabotai. להתנהג לעולם. You behave always with every person. Softly. Talk nice. ופנים שוחקות, smile. ומילות מתוקות, sweet words, sweet words. Look to what he said 200 years ago, that's what he writes. When the chinuch was, he said, no, sweet talking, softly. Every child will fall for this. And he said, כי ודאי, for sure, he says, קרוב השכר ורחוק מן ההפסד. He said, to lose, for sure, you're not going to lose. to gain, most probably you will. And listen to what he writes. ובפרט בדורות הללו של חוצפה יזכה. In our generation, he said, the chutzpah is already over the roof. What? Imagine you'll see what's happening now.
Wow.
אפילו הבנים הקטנים, he says, in his time, even the little kids, אינם מקבלים when you talk to them, they're not accepting when you talk to them harsh. They'll fight back with you. 200 years ago, he talks about. He said, ולשון רכה תשבר גרד. The tongue is the softest organ in the body. You can break a bone. So you can break a child for sure if you know how to talk softly. And he says, kulehai veulai. He said, all this what I'm telling you, and maybe. Meaning I'm not so sure yet. But at least you have a chance. Because you're dealing with Yetzer Hara, don't forget. We're dealing with Yetzer Hara, we're dealing. He said, veulai, maybe. יצפה יועץ, אות ה' ערך הנהגה, behavior, how you have to behave.
Ralph, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is it true that no chinuch is better than bad chinuch? Like, let's say I'm in a situation where I'm like stuck and I don't know how to react to the child's behavior. Should I just like not do anything? Because I'm afraid I feel like if I don't know how to address the issue, like I might make it worse.
Can you talk to the child?
I can talk to the child, but I feel like when I do talk to the child, they take my niceness as a weakness. Like they take advantage of me when I talk nicely to them.
No. So if this is the case, so you're gonna have to say, listen to me, Tzaddik. I don't want to punish you. Shh, I don't want to. But if this is going to continue, we're going to choose the punishment. And if you're going to behave, so you're going to choose what kind of punishment we're going to implement.
So meaning we don't choose the punishment, we let the child choose? At one time I did ask my child what they want as a consequence. They look at me and they're like, nothing, Ima.
So no. You say, I'm giving you three choices. Either I'm taking away your pizza, for whatever it is, or 1 week you're not gonna play with the toy, or you're gonna give the toys that only belong to you, to your sister.
What if the child starts to fuss at that moment? Like starts to scream, rebel? No.
No, you have to warn him in advance. If this kind of behavior is going to continue, you're leaving us no choice, and we're going to And we're gonna let you choose one of these three.
What if the child says, you can't do that to me?
The cucumber cannot say to the farmer, you cannot do this to me.
That we know, but the child doesn't think like that.
Okay. And you talk again, softly.
I feel like I'm
nicely.
a monster already. Like the child looks at me like I'm a mean mommy.
Deep inside, he knows that you know what you're saying, you're responsible, and he will respect you even more.
Mhm. What about if the child like has very, very talkative child, Baruch Hashem. He's a very live child. He likes to talk a lot, like nonstop, a lot. And I love to hear what he's saying, but it just comes to a point where I don't have the time to sit there listening to all his stories and to all his emotions, and just like it can start from the moment he walks through the door until he'll go to bed, and it's past his bedtime and he's still sitting in his bed and sharing with me all the stories and everything. And it's like, how do I just tell him, like, there has to come like to a borderline. You can't just keep talking.
Right, I had a similar question like that too.
Okay, good. So this child is very open one. He wants to share, meaning he's thinking loud. To shut him up.
I can't shut him up. I feel even when I tell him, okay, Tzaddik, you have to go to bed now. It's past your bedtime already. Mommy will listen to your stories tomorrow. He just continues. It's like there's
no, not tomorrow. You tell him, you see, now it's 6 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, I'll come to your room, and you're gonna tell me whatever you want until bedtime.
It doesn't work like that with the schedule that I have at home. It's impossible. All of them come home at like Baruch Hashem different times, but when they are all home, they all want to rip me apart.
Where is the husband?
He's at work.
One hand, don't make noise.
So we have to split up. I don't know what to do. Like I go crazy every evening. Like they're all jumping on top of me. Ima, I need this one. Ima, I need that. Each one wants a piece of me, and I don't know who to listen to. I tell them, Ima only has 2 ears. I cannot listen to so many people.
You can't do it on your own. You're not a super lady yet.
Right, but when my husband is around, they don't listen to him.
What?
I'm the more like tougher one in the household. Like my kids are more obedient with me than they are with their father.
Okay, so he has to get into the action and have to learn what to do.
Right, but I feel like him coming home early is impossible. Like it just will not work out. It just doesn't happen no matter how many times I ask him to be home earlier.
I'm going to tell you one thing. I know what I'm saying now, it's very, very difficult to swallow, but I have to say it. Either your husband will come home now and he will help you, or later on the money that he made then, he has to go and have to pay it for therapy.
Meaning what?
Meaning the children, they cannot get from you what they need because you're only one person. How much can you do? And especially when you have such a child that needs to vent and vent and vent and vent.
Right.
the husband have to be home.
And their schedule is so tight. It's like they come home 6 o'clock,
No,
do homework, play a little bit. And during that whole time where he's playing and he's eating, he's constantly talking. So I tell him, like, you're going to go to bed at this and this time. Whatever you need to say to Ima, please say it now. Like, I would love to listen and to hear your stories, what happened to you. Baruch Hashem, all my kids are very open. They're all very talkative. So he's not the only one. So each one wants to have mommy time and for mommy to just sit there and to just listen to everything. It's like, I'm going crazy already. I don't know how to deal with this.
so if Abba will be there, so he will take two, right? How many kids there are?
6, Baruch Hashem.
6, Baruch Hashem. Okay, so Abba will take 3 and a new 3, and then it's doable.
The oldest one is already 15, so she doesn't really need, like, she doesn't need, she usually speaks to me when the kids go to bed. After 8 o'clock, that's when it's mommy-daughter time. We make tea and she'll talk to me and she'll tell me her stories and everything, how her day was.
Oh, so we're down to 5.
Right, so we're down to 5 now.
Okay, 5 is good.
Right, the youngest is 1, and then in between that, the oldest is almost 12.
So 1 don't know yet how to talk.
Right.
So we're down to 4 now.
So 4 of them are very, very Baruch Hashem talkative. My youngest son, he's almost 4, but he's not a fluent speaker. Like, he gets therapy for speech and for OT and for SEED, and they're telling me now that he also needs PT because his jaws in his mouth are like muscles in his mouth are weak and he's not chewing the foods properly. That's why he's very selective with his food. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, this kid has a whole package and he's getting help, Baruch Hashem. He's improved a lot, but still he's not so talkative like the other kids. So I would say 3 of them mainly, but they still demand other attention, not just talking wise. They want me to make them food, to serve them something, to have to constantly clean up after the one who's constantly spilling the drinks and throwing his food all around. The other one is crying because she's hungry or she wants to sleep. She needs a diaper change. It's like, I'm all over the place, honestly.
Not simple.
Oh, and the other one is nagging that he needs help with homework.
And you want to do all this by yourself?
I've been doing it for almost 13 years. Not all at a time at one shot, of course. Over the time I had more kids, but still it added up over the years.
You need help.
I was thinking maybe to hire like a babysitter, maybe somebody could take care of the younger kids so I have more time. That's what I used to do when I used to have every baby. I used to get help.
And if your husband is not able to, you're going to get 2 helps. You're not going to be able to do it on your own. Don't even try. It's too much. We can do what we can do.
Right, I try my best. I mean, Baruch Hashem.
But it's not fair also for the kids because they don't get what they need.
Right, I do feel like they're very deprived of the attention. That's why I feel like maybe that's why they're so needy. Maybe that's why they're so constantly nagging on me and talking very, very talkative and very like vengeful and.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you, Rob.
The class is over. And I will see you Motzei Shabbat in Hashem. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
9 o'clock,
Thank you, Rabbi.
You think about what I said?
Thank you. We will.
Motzei Shabbat, I'm going to test you.
Okay, great.
Thank
Let's
you.
see how
Shabbat
good you
Thank
are.
you. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Okay.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
9 o'clock,
Shalom.
right?
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock as usual.
Thank you,
Shabbat
Rabbi.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Abigail, Shabbat
Thank you.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you.